Birthday hour, birthday hour shy, birthday hour, birthday hour shy, birthday hour, birthday hour shy. Call Halayim Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakal, Kadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, which are a great millstone. Peace and blessing to the sincere Akim, pushing his truth and sincerity, and those who putting up videos up throughout the week, feeding the sheep. This is McQuad from the Jump in the VA camp, and I'm going to get right into it. It says, fact check. Trump says again that Americans need ID to buy groceries. They still don't. So, and we already know what they're doing right now. They're trying to basically getting ready for the chip, saying they can't buy groceries without ID. Now, the whole thing about I did a video on this like a while ago, but they brought it out again. So I'm gonna do another video on it. So and we know this is getting ready for the mark. Cause matter of fact, I'm just gonna get it real quick. Revelation 13:16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Now, in this word mark is charagma. It says a stamp, an imprint, or mark. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or in the right hand as the badge of the follower of the Antichrist. Now we know that this is actually literally talking about a physical mark. That's why it says us a stamp or imprinted mark. It's not talking about figuratively, spiritually. This is talking about actual physical mark. You see, too, a thing carved, sculpture, graven work. So this is something physically getting put inside of you. Okay. It says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So the only way you're going to be able to buy or sell is if you got that mark. And that's why Trump is mentioning this right now. Talking about you can't buy groceries unless you got ID. And that's just basically like the phase one. Okay, you got to have identification. And then we know the next phase is going to be you got to have the microchip. It says President Donald Trump said again on Friday that Americans need identification to buy groceries, which remains not true. You know, if you want to go out and buy groceries, you need identification. If you want to do almost anything, you need identification. The only thing that you don't need identification for is to vote. The most important single thing you're doing to vote. It says Trump said at a campaign rally in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Trump added, you know why? Because they cheat like hell. That's why voters fraud is exceedingly rare, and there is no evidence of mass cheating by Democrats. Friday wasn't the first time that Trump claimed Americans need identifications for their grocery purchase. He said the same at a Florida rally in July 2018. The day after the Florida rally, his then press secretary, Sarah Sanders, told reporters that Trump was referring to purchase of beer or wine. But 3 months after that, Trump told conservatives Daily Caller that ID is required if you buy, a box of cereal. Grocery stores require identification for alcohol and tobacco purchases for proof that customers are of legal age. Now, obviously, if it's ID for anything, it's going to be proof now that you are a citizen down with the B system. It says purchases of certain medications, and when customers are paying by check, Costco, the membership chain, requires identification to become a member, and shoppers at other stores might occasionally be asked for identification when paying by credit card. But these are exceptions, not the rule. Millions of Americans buy groceries every day without being asked for any identification. Other false claims. It's not true that you don't need identifications to vote anywhere in this country. 35 states, including Louisiana, where Trump was speaking on Friday, have some kind of voter identification requirement. According to the National Conference of State Legislators, some of these states require photo identification, while some allow other forms of identification. Trump made other false claims at the Friday rally. He basically referred to voters' abuse in California, suggesting that non-citizens have voted there in large numbers. As we have explained before, there is no evidence for this claim. Trump also told a story about how he had granted the necessary permits to the Cameron LNG plant, and he had visited in Louisiana in May, claiming other administrators had refused to do so. In fact, the permits were issued by the Obama administration. So the whole point of this is Trump. He keeps bringing this up. I guess so people won't forget, but he keeps bringing this up. But Trump obviously didn't forget. It's one of the agendas of the elites. And I know, right, in 2020, it's supposed to be this thing. I think it's like Smart ID or something. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure they might do something like that. It says beginning October 2020, every air traveler 18 years of age and older will need a real ID complement driver's license, state issued enhanced driver's license, or another acceptable form of ID to fly within the United States. So that's what it is, the real ID. And you need like let me see if I can find it.
Did you know that ID requirements are changing in order to fly domestically? Here's what you need to know so that you don't miss your flight by presenting the wrong ID. Starting October 1st, 2020, you'll need to present a real ID compliant ID or an acceptable alternative ID to fly within the U.S. Note that not all state and territory issued driver's
Right.
licenses and IDs are compliant. If your license or ID is not compliant, you'll need an alternate form of identification to fly, such as a passport, military ID, or DHS Trusted Traveler Card. So, how do you know if your ID is compliant? Generally, compliant IDs will have a star or other security marking as an indicator on the card. If you're not sure if your card is compliant, consult with your state driver's license agency for information on obtaining a compliant ID. For more information on Real ID, visit dhs.gov and search Real ID. For a list of acceptable IDs, information on travel procedures, or what to expect at the checkpoint, visit tsa.gov or send a tweet or direct message to @AskTSA. Hashtag check for the star or call us at 866-289-9673.
So with this real ID, I'm pretty sure that's kind of what going with what Trump is talking about. Without him talking about it, talking about you're going to need ID to buy groceries. And they're just saying they're basically making it mandatory to fly with you need a real ID to fly domestically. And on top of that, they say it's going to be mandatory by October 1st. But the whole point is when Trump get back in 2020, if he gets back in, that's when they might roll out whatever he's talking about. And you might need this real ID to buy groceries. So this thing might be a thing. Okay. Which, like I said, is just ushering in, getting people geared towards needing things to get things. Because right now, you don't need ID to go buy groceries. So you can just go buy groceries whenever you want to. Now, they say all of a sudden you need a real ID to get it. People will get used to that. Right? And then next thing you know, they'll say, you know what? Now you need the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, to go buy anything now. Because that's just how it's going to work. Okay? That's how they slowly usher people into things. Get them used to things like that. This is Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So if you take this microchip, you're going to be burnt to death. Okay, you're going to catch all hell. It says with no mixture. And a mixture is something that goes into a drink to help it ease going down. But if you take this microchip, it ain't no mercy. It ain't gonna be no mercy on this ass whooping that you're gonna receive from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So this is a hint that is going to be going. You're going to get your judgment, your ultimate judgment, when Yahweh Shai comes back with the angels. Okay, when the nuclear missiles come down, and the chariots are burning people to dust, that's when you're going to get the ultimate judgment. Okay, if you take the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. But with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakal, Kadash, double honor to the apostles and elders, which are a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the sincere Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity, and diligently putting up videos throughout the week, feeding the sheep. Adawan, Ratazah, Atham, your call. Shalom.